All right, Feisties, welcome. It's Kelly O'Mara. I'm here with Katie Zaferes. Joanne is still missing. She's in St. Moritz. I feel like she's sending us pictures from her vacation, Katie. And
I know. And I've never been to St. Moritz, but I hear it's quite nice, so a little jealous.
Yeah, she promises she'll be back next week, but I'm skeptical if she's ever going to come back. She's just off. Yeah.
Like the day before, she's like, nah.
We also have you fully. I was like, you don't have Josie on your. I saw a picture of you back at swim practice carrying Josie too. Does she just go with you everywhere now?
Pretty much. She is now my companion, whether I'm wearing her. But I also got, so with Kimball, I never had like the stroller where you just click in the car seat.
Yes.
So I always had to transfer him. And I got it off like, I don't know if anyone knows Buy Nothing Group, but I'm a huge lover of the Buy Nothing Group. And they put one on. And I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this without, did all of Kimball's like infancy without this.
It's super nice.
It's so nice. And so she's mostly sleeping. The athletes are always like, she's still sleeping? Yep.
Still sleeping. So how is, we were talking a little bit before we got started. You're back at work now, which I know it sounds early to like our European audience to be back at work after like 6 weeks, but.
Yeah, if I was European, I'd have years.
Years.
Just got back. Monday was the first official day back. I was saying I have moments of just feeling like I'm drowning, trying to find like this new process. And then I'll have moments where I'm like, oh, I can do this. So I guess that's good because considering we're 3 days in, it's like very fresh still. But I told my athletes, so I coach also Collective here, which is a group of, we have like 8 athletes right now. And I like mentioned to them, I was like, if you feel like I'm not delivering or like meeting your expectations, like just be clear with me and communicate to me. And they gave me far more grace than I've given myself with it. So I think it'll be okay. But it's just like new. It's new to learn how to do all this because with Kimball, I was just after having him, I didn't really have any responsibilities other than him,
other than like getting back to elite athlete Olympic level shape, like just that.
Yeah. Right, but it felt so freeing at that point because like I was like, maybe I'll do this, it was like we'll see how this goes, which really was a great way to come back. And it's actually now I just go back into my training peaks from like 3 years ago, and it helps that Kimball and Josie have the same birthday, so I can like literally follow it to a T, like just go back 3 years and be like, okay, what was I doing then? Because that's my guidance for coming back to activity. I'm really going rogue here.
Nice.
But I've started running. So
have you?
I did yesterday. I did 1 minute walk, and then I did 5 minute run, 1 minute walk, 4 minute run, 1 minute walk. Down to
it's like it took me like, well, obviously C-section is different. But I was like, it took me like 4 months to get to 5 minutes of running.
Well, yes. So I had a very like ideal like birth experience, and I had lunch with a PT friend of mine yesterday, and I was like, can you check if I have diastasis recti? So I was like standing up at the table at lunch, and she's just like poking at my stomach. She's like, no, you're good. I'm like, okay, great. So that was the clearance that I needed. And really, I just like Tommy put into my training peaks like 30 minutes of running every day. And I'm like, Tommy, I'm not really sure I should be doing 30 minutes of running every day yet. So I'm going to do walk runs.
He has access to your training peaks? Interesting.
He does. But that was like a surprise for me. He usually doesn't put anything into it. And then now I have like red already.
Oh no, no.
But he's like, no, Katie, the benefit of this now is that we can go and tweak it and make it green. so I did a walk in.
My husband did ask, how do I have any red or orange on my training peaks when I make up the workouts myself? Like, why don't I just change them? And I was like, well, it means that I know I didn't do it.
So, yeah. I mean, I feel that like that logic.
Yeah. He was asking me too, though. He was like, well, is she going to try and come back to the Olympics? And I was like, I don't think so. I think she's just trying to like figure out like work and training and parenting and all of that together. So
yeah, that feels like enough right now.
Feels like enough. It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. If I did, they would surprise probably a lot of people, myself included.
You're like, never say never, but probably not.
No, I give myself a 98% chance of never having to come back.
Never having to come back. All right, I did tell you though, I got talked into I'm going to the Super Tri Chicago race for like 36 hours this weekend because again, like I love like childcare. I'm like, no, I'll fly in at 6 a.m. Saturday and then just go straight to the race. So now I got talked into doing the sprint, Katie, and I like just like I told you, I literally am up to like 30 minutes of like jog walk. So it might take me 30 minutes to do the 5K.
I was like, that's perfect. You've hit it. You've hit the window.
I also like rented a bike there. Like I don't even know. I'm just gonna show up, pick up my rented bike, roll it into transition. Yeah.
I wrote down my advice for you, and it was
Okay.
just go. Just go. Just swim, bike, and run.
Just go.
But yeah, I think it's like we were talking about before. It's funny, like now with having a kid, and you're like dropping in race day and just going for it. But I also made sure that you weren't racing the Super Tri race. You weren't.
Yeah.
You weren't the invite.
No, that would be something, right? They're like, and Kelly gets left out at the start.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, just go.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I am like they are flying me in because obviously Super Tri is expanding in the US and they wanted me to come like check it out. And Chicago used to be like I did the race. I think you did the race back in the day too, right? When it was like massive and it used to be like the biggest triathlon in the world. And apparently it's like back up to 7,000 people. So
it's
like not the Super Tri, like the regular Chicago triathlon.
Chicago Tri.
Yeah.
Yep, it was one of my first like age group run, and Alicia Kay won it.
Oh, really? Back in the day.
Back in the day.
So it'll be cool to see like how it's changed, since the 15 years or whatever.
Yeah, and this is your first Super Tri that you've ever been
I
to?
went to the Boston one last year.
Okay.
Which I think was a little smaller because the Boston race is just like a little smaller. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think your course will be different, but the Super Tri course for Chicago is it's like pretty technical. Like there's
really?
like a piece of it where you're like, are you gonna fly into the water there? Like so.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun for you to see.
Yeah, so I think it'll be cool. I think it's interesting. Like obviously, it may work, may not, but like what they're doing with like all of the races in the US that they're trying to like grow Olympic distance racing again and. There used to be like back when Chicago was massive, right? There used to be like so many massive Olympic races you could do.
I know. It was a really good vibe, I felt like because there was also like Rev 3 for a while and Lifetime, like all the Lifetime series. So yeah, I hope Super Tri can do it.
Yeah. You're like knock on something.
I got a wood table right here.
So that was your only tip. I was like, okay, Katie, you got to give me tips. If your tips, just go.
And have fun. And have fun. Don't forget to have fun. But no, I don't think I have much more than that. It's funny though, because like, so you do mostly halves or fulls?
Well, I do nothing right now.
Well,
but
this is a perfect entry.
Yeah. I was like, the last time I like randomly did a sprint try, where like, because I was like, oh, come do this one this weekend. I think it may take me 30 minutes longer than that time. You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's try not to compare.
Let's try not to compare.
Yeah, don't compare. Don't compare.
So it'll be interesting.
This is uncharted territory. Actually, it's a fresh start. It's your first race back after having a baby.
There you go.
In 5 months. 6 months.
6 months.
6 months. That's really cool.
So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. And yeah, if you know Chicago, if people are gonna be there, you can come say hi. In Chicago I'll be down at the Super Tri event and then at the sprint, on my rented bike.
Oh, even the rented bike. Yeah.
It'll be awesome. It'll be great. So
you're like really ready.
Really ready. Yeah. Gonna get out my tri suit. All that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. The first race back is big.
I'm not really like thinking of it as a race, but probably I put it in my training peaks as an event. Yeah.
It is. Well,
it's an event.
It's an event. Okay. Yeah. I'll stick with event language. I was like, well, there's a race. We'll say event. We'll go with it. It's a hard training day.
Right. It's something. You know how Training Peaks also gives you a countdown when you put like...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's telling me like how many days.
Like 1 week. Like you put it in like yesterday.
Hi, it's Kelly O'Mara.
And Sarah Gross, your other feisty friends.
And we host the newish, feisty podcast, The Feist, covering everything in women's sports that you need and want to know every week.
And the things you didn't know you wanted to know.
In one feisty hour, it's the only women's sports podcast covering all your favorite sports: cycling, running, CrossFit, rugby, the Olympics, the things that other podcasts don't cover.
And giving you the stories behind the scenes, of course.
And why should these feisty listeners listen to The Feist, Sarah?
Well, okay, Kelly, you know how women's sports in the last couple years have reached this like inflection point?
So I hear, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're, most people are kind of aware that like women's sports are growing, especially on the side of basketball, soccer. And it's really hard. Like I really want to be able to keep up with that movement and what's happening and the things that are growing and the behind the scenes information and like the business side and how the revenue's growing in different leagues. But I don't want to have to watch a ton of sports every week. Not that I don't love watching women's sports. But there's just a lot of it now, right? So
there are a lot of sports.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our podcast is a way to like keep up on the movement of women's sports while you are able to still pick and choose the ones that you want to watch yourself. So that's why people should listen.
Because we watch them.
Because we watch
tell
them
you
for you
about them.
Yes. And we're fun.
And about everything. And we're fun. And we're going to do all the research behind the scenes, tell you everything you need to know. Listen to The Feist every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcast. You can follow or subscribe to The Feist on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Here at Feisty, we're excited to be teaming up with Xterra to help get more women onto the trails and into off-road triathlon. Xterra offers a full schedule of off-road triathlons all around the world, from super sprint to Olympic distance, youth races. Their events feature open water swimming, mountain biking, trail running, with a focus on the welcoming community and beautiful destinations. And I want to be clear, anyone can do an Xterra. You can do an Xterra. Even if you've never mountain biked before, other athletes are ready to get you to that finish line and are even known to offer a helping hand during races. In fact, we'll be doing a series of feisty podcasts and videos with some tips and ways to get started. Stay tuned. You'll also recognize some of the most iconic names in triathlon who got their start in Xterra: Flora Duffy, Mel McQuaid, Leslie Patterson, and next year the World Championship race will return to the US with a new home in New Mexico. And most importantly, Xterra offers equal prize money, recognition, and spots to that World Championship. So if you're looking for a new adventure, hit the dirt and find a race to try at xterraplanet.com. That's XTERRA planet.com. But outside of our personal lives, there also is like triathlon happening in the world. And like we talked about last week, this past weekend was the final qualifying for Ironman World Championships. So we have our final like list now. And I was looking at it yesterday, kind of like pull it together. And it's interesting. So I was like looking at all the stats, right? Because it's about 60 women. It's like 59 or women. The youngest are 25. The oldest are 43. We have like 19 people making their debut in the pro field, which is a lot.
That's what caught my eye. Was like, wow, it's like really, and like strong women making their debut.
Like Julie Darren, Solveig,
Perter. Right.
So I feel there's only like one person who like the people keep track of like how many world championship finishes you have. And it's only like Maya Stage Nielsen who has like more than 5. So it feels like it's like a turning of the guard. It's like a like we don't have Daniela. We don't have Anne, right? We're like changing over now.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because I feel like that's also happening in short course, like at the same time.
Oh,
like,
really?
So, well, yeah, because just a lot of everybody, all ours are in T100. So
nice. All of the I don't want to say, I'm trying to think of the right word for old names. All of the legends, the icon, they're all going to T100.
Yeah, all those wise ones.
And
also, so this might just be me not having like the insight for the long course, but is Nina Julie's sister?
Yes, it took me. Okay, so Nina and Julie Darren are sisters. It took me a stupid amount of time to realize that. Like, I didn't realize until they were on the Iron Women podcast last year that they were sisters.
Yeah, because I've seen I guess I've seen Julie post about Nina, but I never really knew that she was like this level. So that's really cool that they'll get to do this together. Like,
somebody asked if they were the first sisters, and I'd be like, no. There were the Canadian sisters back in the day, the Puntus sisters, who were like both very good. Like, would get like second and third or third and fourth.
Oh, that's super cool.
But I don't know if there's been other sisters besides that.
Yeah, I wonder if they have a team strategy.
Oh, that would be interesting. Should we ask them? Do you have a team strategy?
Bring them on.
Bring it on. So that was cool. I mean, it wasn't super dramatic. Like in the final qualifying, Marlene de Boer got the last spot. I think that was sort of predicted. Chelsea like validated her spot. She definitely, I think, still looked like injured, which I think she's talked about plenty. It looked painful. Like it looked like we talked about, like she had to finish that marathon and but she has 2 months now. And she's somebody I would like bet still shows up ready. On race day. Yeah.
Well, and I feel like now that you validate, like hopefully she can like really get like focused on the recovery of her injury and get it under control. Like I said, that's such a like hard spot. Like you go race an Ironman injured, like
I mean, people do it. You always hear like crazy stories, right? Like when Lucy won that year or whatever, and she had, I don't remember what she had, but it was it was something insane. Like she tore her hamstring or something, and she just like ran through it, and you're like, oof.
But that was to validate, or that was
no when she won.
Yeah. See, I feel like that's easier. Like
that's easier because
in the sense of like you're like, I just have to get through this race, whereas like needing to race an Ironman when you know you're injured to prepare for the world like world championships. Yeah, that's hard spot, but hopefully it'll all.
Yeah, I'm sure Chelsea like buries herself when it's on the line, and I'm sure she'll be ready. It isn't interesting when I was scanning like the list yesterday, and they're like, it's a lot of 30 somethings. It's a lot of like 35, 37-year-old women.
Do you think that's a shift?
I don't know. I mean, it's not like you have a couple of like 20 somethings, right? Like Marjolaine and Taylor and Julie. But it's a lot of like 35, 37-year-olds.
Yeah, it's funny too because I always think Taylor Nibb's so young.
And she's not that young.
I'm like, oh, she's 27.
Oh, she's 27. She's not even the youngest one, yeah.
No, not the youngest, but pretty darn close to the youngest.
Yeah. Well, it's funny to me. There's a lot of people like Sam Long's another one, right? Where people like we still all think of him as being very young, but like actually, it's been around for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing with myself. I'm like, oh, I'm so young, and I'm like, oh, you're not really that young anymore.
You're not really that young, yeah. Like, oh yeah, like we still refer to some people as like the kids, and you're like, oh, the kids are 32. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So that race, the Kalmar and Copenhagen were the last qualifying races. They were also the first races with the new age-graded qualification system. And I've had like people ask, obviously, I know you don't, this is not like something you're in the weeds on, but I know our audience cares a lot. So I will say I went and I looked up the rankings for Kalmar and Copenhagen and like did the math, right? Like, because the winner of every age group gets a spot automatically. So you have to like count all those spots. And then all the rest of the spots go just down the list of rankings, right? Like based.
Okay.
Right. So you have to like count every age group winner and then you count out all the rest of the spots. And I didn't assume, like, I don't know if anything rolled down because it could, like, the age group winner could have turned it down, but this is the first races. Like, I don't think that would have happened that much. Anyway, if you do the math, Kalmar was like 30% women in the end qualifiers and Copenhagen was like 40% women qualifiers. So that's about, I think, what was expected. Interestingly, there's definitely there's some weird things where it's like in Kalmar, a weird number of 50 to 54-year-old men. Like clearly that was just a very competitive age group at that race. You know what I mean? So it's like if a whole cohort of very competitive people like show up in a certain age group, they could just like get all the spots, which is like kind of, I will say the thing that stood out to me more than the like female participation, like, because I think maybe that surprised some people. I don't think it is. I think we all expected it to be like averaging out to 35%. The thing that was weirdest to me was that I think the algorithm isn't treating the older age groups well, because almost nobody over 65 earned a spot beyond the winners.
Oh, because
Yeah.
they beat. Yeah.
They were so far
I
down
see.
on the list. Like for some reason, the algorithm is just ranking the older age groups times much, much lower. And even when you're scrolling down to find like the winners of the 70 to 74, it's very far down. So I will be interested to see if they adjust that, because I think that's kind of sucks for, like the 68-year-old who's like really out there.
Well, yeah, because then when it comes to the world champs, and it's like,
Yeah,
you have your age group championships, and there's no one in your
you're like, oh,
yeah.
And in some ways, I feel like those are the people who should get like the most spots, right? Like the world championship should be the most for like the older. Like if you're 34, like whatever,
Yeah,
you can still do other things. Yeah, you could, if you really want to be good, like be a pro athlete. I don't know.
But they are retired, a lot
True.
of them, so they have so much time to
They
train.
have so much time. Yeah,
They really should be at the top of their game.
there you go. That's the.
But I mean, I always think of Tommy's mom, because she started running later in life, and now she's running like marathons, and she's like 70, and
Oh, really?
like, yeah, it's crazy to me. She runs all the time. But
One of the best women in the world, like the best, like she's like 74 and she has like every world record for like 70. Like she can run a 3-hour marathon, or she ran a 3-hour marathon at like 69 or something, right? Like she didn't start running until she was in her 40s, and she thinks like that's part of what.
she's fresh.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah.
So
So
sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm just going to turn out to be, Katie, one of those like amazing 68-year-olds,
late bloomers.
late bloomers. Yeah.
Well, it's nice. You're like, there's still time. Still time to get your
Yeah.
records and
Yeah.
world championships. I do think there is a piece of that. Like, I mean, the thriving retirement age of like being able to focus on your, like, especially, I mean, I'm coming at it probably from like the mom view, but like you're back to being able to focus on yourself and like go after some things that maybe you put on hold for a little bit. I don't know. I'm definitely projecting here.
You're
so.
projecting. Yeah. You feel like you're like, what's the whole, like, this might be about you.
This is about me.
Yeah.
Now it's therapy. We shifted.
We shifted. I will say, like, I have very little interest in racing Kona again. Like, I did it once as an age group, right? I don't. But I think it'd be fun to do it at like 70. Like, come back and be one of those people, if I am still able to.
I mean, this isn't talking about Kona, but we were at age group nationals at Atlantic City last year. And like, it was my first time at the finish line. We were handing out the medals to the finishers. And it was so impressive seeing like the older crew come across and just be, I don't know, it's like be so motivated and like, yeah. So I agree. It is special. And that was, I mean, yeah, Ironman is a totally different beast.
I mean, age group nationals is super fun because of that, right? Because it's like, because you can still keep doing it like pretty competitively for a pretty long time.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't require as much volume. We didn't talk about it last week, but age group nationals, the second day got canceled this year because of the crazy flooding. I was like, oh, I know. It was really bad flooding though. I will say, because like my family lives there, like people's houses got destroyed, right? It was like, there was not like an option for having a triathlon.
Yeah. I hope from what I could tell, like on the USAT side, most like the feedback was just people being supportive and understanding.
Yeah, I don't even think they're like, I saw people being like, it was the right decision. I was like, I don't even think they got to make a decision. I think they were told by the police, like,
yeah,
you are not having a triathlon. So,
yeah.
What other races were this past weekend? There was Louisville, Jackie Herring won, which is always nice to see Jackie win. Xterra European champs. I gotta give a shout out to Solène, who was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. I guess she decided to do the Euro Championships like a week before.
Well, she's like you.
Yeah, there you go. And she won. So, just like me.
Or you're like her.
Right.
So go win it. Go win
Go win the sprint triathlon in my 30-minute 5K. All right. Any other races on your radar?
No, it was pretty quiet for like this past week for the short course side of things. And then Chicago's coming up in the French Riviera, right? I think
In the French Riviera the week
that's
after.
for-
Yeah.
which I'm still like, my mind is still boggled about the ones on the start list for like the World Triathlon Championship Series race and the T100. But
Well, Hayden said he wants to try and win both titles.
I wouldn't put it past him. So, I mean, it almost, to Chelsea's point with like when we spoke last week about it's going to be really hard to do both really well. But like if Hayden wins, like, I mean, that's pretty crazy if he was able to like get both.
Especially as he's coming back from like such a bad crash. I would want to like ease in.
Wow.
Wow.
He's probably very hungry.
Sure.
I don't think there's any easing. It's like, well, I'm back.
I'm back. I know what there was in the short course world. Did you watch this like World Games duathlon? So there was like a duathlon world championship, isn't the right word? Because the World Games are like the Olympics for non-Olympic sports. So they're held every 4 years.
That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah. There's like 35 sports and they're all like the ones that are not in the Olympics.
Okay.
Some of them are like things you've heard of, like flag football. And some of them are things you have not heard of, like long distance free diving.
My God, that would be so scary.
There's some like wild things that you're just like, what is happening? Tug of war was one of the sports.
How do
I know?
like? Well, no, like how do you get teams for like? I mean, it's cool. It's a place
Taiwan
for
won.
everybody.
Yeah. But so duathlon, so in the context of like under the triathlon umbrella, duathlon is what they contest because that's not an Olympic sport. And who was it who won? She was from Mexico.
Anahi Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
Anahi. So yeah, I raced against her quite a bit, especially like coming back after Kimball. She's fast runner, super fast runner. So, and I like duathlon as a different sport. I do not love duathlon when triathlon becomes duathlon. And I'm like, this is a different sport. So I'm a little conflicted on it. But like as like the World Games, and I mean, it's hard. Duathlon's hard. Like when our races get switched to them. And I think I've actually only had to do one and I DNF'd.
Oh, really?
I didn't finish. And it was, funnily enough, it was the national championships that year for triathlon. So that year, our national triathlon champion was actually duathlon.
That happened when I was in college. The college championships turned into a duathlon.
Yeah. And to me, that's just like,
well, yeah, my friend who doesn't know how to swim won it, right? Like,
yeah. Well, and like when it becomes like that's a possibility for like the when it's been like, oh, that's a possibility for the Olympics, it's like really like irks me. But
it irks you.
But then I guess it's a catch-22 because you're like, well, would you rather not compete? I'm like,
sure.
No, you'd rather compete. So, but anyways, it's hard. It's hard to do.
What do you think? Well, it used to be, I feel like my understanding is there used to be more of like a duathlon circuit. And like it was a thing that was actually like contested. Like, you know, you had like Power Man and like a duathlon world championship. And then I think it just sort of got like sidelined and it's not as much a bit as its own sport anymore, right? It's not, there aren't really like, except for the World Games, as many competitive duathletes.
Do they not have it? They don't have it anymore at the World Championships. Like
I think they have it at the they have it at that multi-sport where there's like a quathlon and duathlon and cross and there's like a bunch of things.
Yeah, I probably don't know enough about the circuit of duathlon, but
I gather it used to be bigger. Like there were people who were like, it was like a thing.
Well, that doesn't surprise me because there's so many people where the swimming is really the part that people are like
true
the most nervous about, or if like swimming's your weakness, just being able to do a run and a bike is far more up some people's alley.
True.
I always really appreciated the swim.
You were pro swim.
Pro swim, yes.
It was interesting though to like see. They also did, I guess, a mixed relay duathlon at the World Games.
Oh, that's cool. I love the relays.
Really? Are they fun?
Well, like I just mean like in general, any relay, any sport. It is. It's the most fun.
Would you do a duathlon?
Well, did they do it like each per? Did they do
each
it the way
person
they
did,
do the mixed relay?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a short.
And then Spain won in like a sprint or whatever. Would you do a duathlon mixed relay?
That would also be, would I?
Yeah.
That'd be really hard. Yes, I would. I would, what did you call it? I would do the event.
I would do the event. It's not a race, it's an event.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it depends how they race the races, because if it's like a tactical first run and then you're riding as a group and then racing.
Yeah, I guess for people who don't know, one of the things is like when they do duathlon, what they usually do is do a short first run to like spread people out before they get on their bike, and then a bike, and then like kind of the normal distance run, whatever that is, like 5K. And that first short run is often insane because everyone's just like full out.
Yeah.
That's been my experience.
Full out 5K. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's painful.
All right. We have today, I had a short catch up with Gwen Jorgensen, which we'll play after we take a little break, because she had surgery. But Katie, I mean, you'll hear this in the interview. She is full on coming back. Like, she is still motivated. She is still excited. She's like planning her 2026. I was like, wow.
It's impressive. I mean, so as an athlete myself, I was pretty much like unscathed with long-term injuries.
Right.
And so I never had to do that. But I look at some athletes who like Flora Duffy, like relentless kind of injuries. And then like Emma Bach, she had a lot of injuries. And to me, it was like so impressive to still like, I don't think it's the motivation that impresses me, because athletes want to compete, but to be able to stay engaged and positive and like continue to just like believe and go after it, like that's really, it takes a lot of energy. It takes like a huge mental toll. So yeah, it's cool to see Gwen like still really like, I'm coming back.
I know. I mean, when we started talking and she was like talking about next year, I was like, it doesn't sound like you are done. It sounds like you are ready to keep going. So
I'm taking away that we are still on the path.
Yes. Where you you talk to some people and you're like, I think you sound like you might be wrapping this up.
No signs of that.
No signs of that. So
no, I'm not sure that's in there. It'll be a surprise, like whenever she's like ready. Although I guess that's kind of contradictory to like a few years ago when it seemed like she was done triathlon, but now she's
I mean, I think, right, like you kind of said, like different things kept people motivated again and excited, and
she's tasted it too, from like we were talking about with Yokohama. She was 4th in Yokohama, so I think she sees glimpses of it, and also like obviously an injury. And I feel like this injury for her was like one she's been managing for a while and decided like, okay, if I'm really gonna be able to train the way I want to and race the way I want to, she had to get the surgery done. So
yeah, for sure. It's not like it's not a surgery. Like, you have it done sooner so that you can get back to train, like, right, like manage it in long game here. So
yeah, but yeah, the being able to like keep on when things are going rough or not ideal, it's hard.
Yeah. So kudos to her. We caught up with her just kind of about what she's been doing in her little break. I mean, break's not the right word, but as she's has some extra time here, and her plans for the future.
Hey Feisties, Sarah Gross here. We are so excited to be back with you here on our new, shiny, Feisty Triathlon podcast. Thank you for listening. I am so glad you're here. I want to tell you about one of the Feisty team's favorite recovery products, Prevenex's Neurify Plus. I use the chocolate flavor myself every day to support my strength training. At Feisty, we only support brands that our team uses and products that deliver results we have seen for ourselves. Prevenex's Neurify Plus is one of the best tasting plant-based and vegan shakes I've tried, and trust me, I've tried a lot. It contains balanced protein, carbs, and fat with comprehensive, high-quality micronutrients to help fuel your health. It also contains probiotics and digestive enzymes, so it's super easy to digest and doesn't give you that bloaty, gassy kind of effect that other protein products can produce. Unlike most supplement brands, Previnex tests everything with pharmaceutical-grade precision, and they also offer a 100% money-back guarantee. So try Neurify Plus or any Previnex product today, and you get 15% off your first order with the code FEISTYTRY at Previnex.com. That's FEISTYTRY for 15% off at Previnex.com. The link will be, as always, in the show notes.
Regular listeners of Feisty podcasts will not be surprised to learn that for decades, running shoes have been researched, tested, and designed for men. Brands have relied on the shrink it and pink it approach to sell male shoes to female customers. But women's feet differ from men's in numerous ways. We have increased toe splay, higher arches, a more narrow heel, a lower ankle bone, upward angled toenails, and a rounded instep that is smaller in circumference. And because of all those differences, that is why we need HEDAs. HEDAs has unlocked the science behind women's biomechanics through dedicated research and creates running shoes specifically designed for women. So that means a lower heel collar to reduce rubbing on women's ankle bones, plate design to provide heel stability and to decelerate foot impact, rounded instep creating a snug fit through the middle to match the curvature of a woman's foot. Every feature is designed to give you more power and less problems. Breathability that lets your feet breathe easily mile after mile, plus fast drying tech that doesn't allow sweat to slow you down, adaptive stretch that molds to your foot like it was made just for you. I personally have been running in HEDAs for over 2 years, and from the first time I tried them, I knew that there was something different. They really felt like they were made for me. The shoes are super light but provide good cushioning, and they really support my very high arches. I honestly didn't think I would notice the difference after running for so many years in male model shoes, but I really did. So try HEDAs for yourself today. Go to hedas.com and use the code STAYFEISTY for 20% off. That is Stay Feisty for 20% off at hedas.com. The link will, as always, be in the show notes.
All right, Gwen Jorgensen, thanks for joining me. I feel like the first question is, how are you doing post-surgery? How are you feeling?
Yeah, you asked me that when I got on this, and I said, great. I said, actually, no, I'm not. I'm doing terrible. Triathlon is such a big part of my life, and I had a Hagelman's deformity recurrence. I had surgery on my foot a couple years ago on my Achilles. It's basically a bone overgrowth that grows into the Achilles, and so then every time you take a step, the Achilles is getting cut by the bone. And this started, I caught it really quick because I know exactly what it feels like. I went into my PT and he's like, you're fine. I'm like, I don't feel fine. And so, we went in, got a x-ray, MRI, surgery. So I'm not able to weight bear yet. So this morning I did the rower and the boss trainer, but oh my gosh, it's so boring. I'm like, what is the point? I can't even get my heart rate up, but just trying to stay active. And for me, I think there haven't been any races yet, so that helps mentally. Right. But when there's some races that I was planning on going to that start coming, it'll be really difficult. At the same time, I am old enough where I have, I don't know if it's maturity or you just something. I know that this is what I need to do just to be healthy and live my life. With this sort of thing, if I didn't get surgery, I'd have pain walking around and I don't want to be in chronic pain. So, just kind of looking at the long game and trying to keep my mind occupied.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because some people, they'll try and push through a Hagelman's deformity for, a season just to get it done. But you went ahead and decided to go ahead and do the surgery, which makes me think then that you're still thinking next season after that.
Yes. My PT and my doctor, everyone said you can definitely finish out this season. That would be no problem. And I was just like, absolutely not. For me, I wanted to get it done. I looked at it and was like, okay, if I get it done now, I can start fresh at the start of 2026. So I had actually said to my tight circle. I don't think I've shared this publicly, but I said, like, if I didn't podium this year in 2025, I was going to quit.
Oh.
I didn't podium. I did get fourth, and then I feel like I got my season cut short. So I also had a flat tire. I feel like I had this year's just, we're going to just toss this year up. We're going to scratch it and we're going to start again next year.
But it sounds, I mean, I'm listening to you and it sounds like you're still having fun though. The fire's still there. You still want to keep racing. You still like got plans. So
yes, I actually just got off a phone call with my sports psych, and I feel like this is a really good time to do some really good work there. And so, I'm excited about the future. And I feel like I have a lot more that I can give. And so, it's exciting for me and something that, the fire is definitely still there. I still enjoy it. I'm missing it dearly right now. So it's all good signs.
Okay. And how has recovery been you've obviously had a long career. You've had injuries before, but I don't know if you had 2 kids before when you had to get surgery. How is it with 2 kids and not being weight bearing now?
Yeah. George, my youngest, he's like, Mommy, why can't you walk? Why can't you walk? And he's like, Mommy, I'm going to get surgery. And I was like, no, we don't want surgery. It's, my boys, Stanley's he's at an old enough age where he kind of understands and is very accommodating. And George, it's hard to be alone with him, a 2-year-old who can just run out the door at any moment. Right. And I can't really keep up. So that's probably the hardest part is just, I feel like I'm not able to, I don't feel comfortable being home alone with my 2-year-old, which is just hard.
Sure.
But yeah, they're great. And I think having them during this time is actually awesome. I'm actually able to like do more stuff. So we just, go places that they want to go and go to parks and hang out and have a little more of that family time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I was Googling something about like postpartum return to running and totally random separate like Reddit hole. They're like, have you watched Gwen Jorgensen's YouTube video? She's amazing. And I didn't realize like how widespread your recovery, like these are people who aren't even triathletes, right? So so you must get questions it must come up all the time with people just want to know how you do it, how you make it work, how you returned after all these different times. I was surprised like how broad it went. So
that's good to know. I feel like a lot of times in sports, you try to figure out a why and like, why am I doing this? And there's a lot of whys for me. Like I, internally want to accomplish things, but also externally, I want to be, I want to help other people. And so it's good to hear that. And, I think for me, coming back, I have a ton of support, which is huge. My husband, Patrick, we have an au pair, my family, my coaches, like everyone. I feel like you need this huge network. And then as well, I think I was just born with a really big stubbornness. And if I want to do something, I'm going to just keep banging my head against the wall until I do it.
All right. Well, there you go. And what have you, I don't want to say like you have a ton of downtime right now, but I do feel like I'm seeing like your name pop up in all these other things. Like you're doing a scholarship fund. I feel like you were investing in a saddle company. Like it feels like you're expanding your repertoire right now, right?
I am. I actually started all those things before my Hagelands for me popped up. But the Gwen Jorgensen Scholarship Fund is something that I'm super excited about this year. It started because I had some like old clothes that were gently used, like bike kits. Mm-hmm. And I was like trying to get rid of them, posted about it on Instagram. And my dear friend Scott, who I met at the pool, one day I saw him swimming at my local pool. And I said, "You're fast. Will you swim with me sometimes?" It's not my stats. Like I was trying to recruit people. So that's how I met him. But he was like, "I saw your post." And he's like, "I have some money I've been wanting to help people with, like get in the sport, get active." And he's like, is there something we could do where we could use your name to kind of help? Right. And so, we brought back the Gwen Jorgensen Triathlon Fund, which I actually just read all of the applicants 2 days ago. And we're going to select the winners in like a week. So it was super cool to read that. The USA Triathlon Foundation actually said it was the most applicants they ever had for one grant. So just super inspiring to read that and, just hear people's stories. And, sometimes just a little bit of help can go such a long way. So yeah, exciting.
I was going to ask if you were like really involved, if you're like reading all the applications, and it sounds like you are.
Yes, there's a committee of, there's a couple people from the foundation on the selection committee, myself, Scott, and Patrick. So yeah, definitely in it. And, I'm excited that I'm going to be able to as well, like call people and award them myself. It's something that when I did the Gwen Jorgensen scholarship a few years ago, it really meant a lot to people when I called them and talked to them and could almost have like a mentorship as well. So I try to, I don't think that much about my accomplishments, but I think I can use them in a way to help others and inspire others. And so this is just kind of one way to do that.
Do you, obviously you're in Boulder now, and so I feel like there are a lot of like young up and coming triathletes. Are you like imparting wisdom all the time out when you're on rides?
I don't have as much wisdom as everyone thinks. I think for me, being in Boulder is awesome. You have so many amazing athletes around you and people who aren't pros who are faster than pros.
Right, like Scott, apparently.
Yes, exactly. You never even heard of them. But yeah, I think it's just a really cool place and environment to be. And, last week, Chelsea, Kevin, and Summer put on a kids triathlon camp here.
Yes.
And it just like seeing that sort of stuff and being able to be around that, I think is really cool to have that sort of community and have so much access to helping kids.
Yeah. Do you has it improved since you like came into sport? Has getting kids and youth and younger athletes kind of up through the pipeline gotten better, gotten worse, the same?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I think triathlon, USA Triathlon is trying to do a lot to build that up. And, there's grants actually through the foundation where they help set up like areas that have never had triathlons, and they do like a camp, they do a race, they do everything. And so I think, there's so many opportunities. So if people are listening to this and they're in an area where it's not a Boulder, there's not a ton of triathlons, there's so many opportunities to bring that sport to your community. And I hope that people, really grab onto that and embrace it.
Are your kids going to do triathlon? You're not sure yet?
So Stanley's really into Taekwondo.
Oh, okay.
Taekwondo. So he does Taekwondo a few times a week. He's been doing it for years. He's a deputy black belt. He will ride his bike. He will run if he's racing someone. But he's not really like into the competitiveness yet.
Interesting.
He doesn't want to do any races for medals or so I see his competitiveness. So I'm pretty sure it'll come out at some point. But they haven't shown too much interest in triathlon. Although, this is a funny story. Stanley went back to school yesterday.
Okay.
And he had to write down for his teacher, favorite food, favorite place to eat, favorite sports team. And he said USA Triathlon.
Is his favorite sports team?
Yes. And I was like, that is awesome. I thought for sure it was going to be the Broncos because he loves the Broncos. He also loves the Packers. I'm from Wisconsin. But yeah, it was USA Triathlon.
And the teacher's like, what?
Yeah. Like, you've never done a triathlon in your life? Well, he did do Iron Kids once, but it was just like a running race.
Okay. So you're not of course you're not going to force it on them, but they're around it all the time. So who knows?
They are around it constantly. Yeah. Yes.
And then, I mentioned the saddle company, but I do feel like I see, obviously Pat has his fingers in like a billion things, but I feel like you both are just like kind of doing all these other projects right now too, right?
Yeah. We invested in Wove. It's something that I was using a saddle from like, I think it was discontinued in 2014.
Oh, and you were still using it?
I was still using it. And I finally, 2 years ago, I was like, I am scrapping this. Like, I only have one left out of when I hoarded them, when they were, discontinuing them. And I just like started going through saddle by saddle by saddle. Like, we had thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of saddles in my garage that I was buying outright because I was just like, I need to find a saddle that works. I bought one that was like, this like super cush mountain bike saddle. Like, it was like huge. Anyway, I found one that was bearable, but I had been riding it for months. And every time I got on, I'd almost was in tears because I was like, I am just not comfortable. I can't get in the position I want to get in. Like I can't rotate my pelvis. And Pat actually was like, try the saddle from Wove. I knew nothing about it. And I have another funny side story. Every time we got these saddles, Pat would for some reason put them on our kitchen table. So they were like our centerpiece. And when the Wove one came, Stanley looked at it and he's like, that one looks cool, but why do we keep putting saddles on the kitchen table?
What is going on?
Like, we'd literally be eating dinner and there's like a saddle sitting on the table. And it was like for me to inspect. And anyway, I put on the Wove saddle and instantly had zero pain. And I was like, this can't be. I must just be having a good day.
Right. And
then I continued to try it and haven't had pain, been able to get in the position. So yeah, I was like something that I was really excited about. And Pat actually had the idea to invest in them. And I was like, well, yeah, I would love to, because I don't want them going away and I want them to make more.
Right.
So yeah, I think, for a lot of women and men, it's a huge problem is pain riding a bike. And I've always been told it's just a part of riding your bike.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. I've learned that it's not. You just need to find something that works.
Yeah, apparently this is a big problem for a lot of like elite women who ride, the quantity and amount that you ride.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that's been super exciting to do that. And Pat actually also just invested in he sponsored the cyclocross series here in Boulder.
Oh, really?
They lost their sponsor. So super cool to just kind of like, that's something as well that Pat and I are both passionate about is just like supporting the local racing. It's fun. I think it keeps the sport alive. It's not, a pro level race, but it's great to have something in your neighborhood that you can just go out and do a weeknight race. And I think it really keeps a community thriving.
Do you ever show up to the Thursday like splash and dash at the reservoir then?
Yes. The Stroke and Stride it's called.
Stroke and Stride, yeah.
2 of them this year actually. I've done that and some local crits and some of the local cyclocross races I have also done. Pat always wants me to do all of them, but yes, I do some of them as well.
Do people ever, obviously in Boulder that happens, right? Like random Olympians show up. People ever like, what is going on? Gwen Jorgensen just beat me at this like random 5K. Yeah.
My sister, actually, she is very recreational athlete, but she just signed up for a like winter series, running race series. And she's like, my goal is to get top 3. And I just hope there is no one like Gwen showing up at these races.
Right.
But yeah, I think, in Boulder, there's always top competition. Like I am not winning all these races. Right. So, I think that's really exciting and hopefully not discouraging to other people, but encouraging, hopefully.
Right. And I saw you, you also did like the Masters Cycling Championships, right?
Yes. And that was back in my hometown, actually. So, we flew the whole family. We got to see Grandma, Grandpa. And did the Masters. I can't believe I'm so old that I can do Masters Nationals. I'm so old. But that's something I like racing.
Right.
And so when I get an opportunity to race, and that was actually something Pat wanted to do. And he was like, well, I'll just fly there with the kids. And I said, absolutely not. If you're going there, I'm going there too. Let's sign me up. So it was a whole family affair.
Okay. It sounds like you don't think of yourself as a Masters athlete though. Like you're like, no, I'm still an elite athlete.
Well, I don't know if I'd throw myself in ever in an elite bike cycling race. So,
sure.
I like being the Masters athlete in cycling events.
Right.
In triathlon, I'm still trying to compete on the elite level, but Masters cycling is very competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
Mm-hmm. In that whole, like, obviously, you're not old, but we're aging. How do you kind of like adjust things now as you're getting on with your recovery and your training and all that?
Yeah, I think with kids, it's harder. I'm going to bed earlier and earlier. When they go to bed, I go to bed. But I think I don't feel like my body's really slowing down that much. I'm more terrified to fall because if I fall, I think my body doesn't react as well. I think with time though, like with my Hagelman's deformity that came back, like this is how everything with my body, if something goes wrong, I'm so much wiser and I almost know instantly what's happening, that I think that really helps me in so many ways. So like when the Hagelman's started and my PT was like, you're fine, I was just like, no, I know it's not. Like I know what this is. So I think it's just kind of yes, it's probably harder for some things and for your body to recover. But also I know my body so much better that it almost evens out. I'd say the hardest thing is probably I can't just like go into a race totally unprepared and be okay. When I used to, I think, be able to, or when you're younger, you kind of can do that. I think, now if I'm gonna race, I need to actually be very prepared because I don't know, some young athletes, I just feel like when they're 19 or 20, it's like they just don't lose any fitness for some reason.
You're like, yeah, is that age or is that like, I don't know. It's also like there's more people now. It's like all changing. I don't know.
Don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what?
Fit constantly.
The 19-year-olds are always fit. Okay.
Yes.
Well, obviously right now you're recovering and then you're going to come back next year. What are your plans? What's next? Like where should we look for Gwen next?
I'm just going to say, follow me on social media.
Okay.
Something I've learned from previous injuries and surgeries. I don't want to put a timeline on it.
Right.
When I have I have to get back for this, I push it. I'll run too soon. I'll push through something that probably isn't right. And so, I'm not putting any dates in. I just, I'm, if everything goes fine, I should be back for the first race of the season next year.
Okay.
But I'll keep everyone updated on my social media. Gwen Jorgensen.
Good. Are you still doing YouTube videos too? Yes.
Yes. I've had, I'm looking for a videographer in the Boulder, Louisville area because my two that I use have been very busy. They're both unavailable for the next month. So if anybody is in the Boulder area, let me know.
All right. See? I feel like we've just put so many calls out. If you want to do a triathlon, if you want to be a swim partner, if you're a videographer, yeah.
This is just not an interview for anything but me trying to get everything I need.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, thank you so much for catching us up on what Gwen's up to now.
Yes, thank you for the time.